Hello and welcome to the Following On Cricket podcast with talkSPORT. It's Sam Ellard and the double Ashes winner Steve Harmison, who, by the way, was once the number one bowler in the world for nearly 2 years, which is absolutely incredible and doesn't get spoken about enough. We'll hear from Harmy in a second, but we're going to be reacting to everything that happened on day one of the second test match. Pakistan-England in Multan. And yep, that's right. If you didn't know, it was the same wicket that was being used as the first test match. Pakistan won the toss, chose to bat first, 19 for 2. They were under pressure early on, especially Jack Leach. He got an absolute beauty to dismiss Abdullah Shafiq, a ball that turned sharply. We thought, hang on a minute, how's this going to play out? To be fair, the pitch didn't maybe spin as much as we all thought on day one. Kamran Ghulam, welcome to Test match cricket. Who needs Babar Azam? 100 on debut for him. Well supported throughout the afternoon session from Saeem Ayub, who made 77. Mohammad Rizwan went in unbeaten on 37, but England should have had him out on 8 when he nicked behind, but nobody seemed to appeal. This is the Following On Cricket podcast. Pakistan closing day one on 259 for 5. Steve Harmison, I love bazball, don't get me wrong. When England are scoring at 6s and 7s, and there's reverse scoops and all that, but there's also something about days like today where there's just a great contest between bat and ball that makes it compelling, enthralling test match cricket, and I really enjoyed all the play today.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree, Sam. It's nice to see you again. Thank you for that introduction.
But do you not think I'm right, though? Like 226 test wickets, 2 Ashes wins is great and all that. But with all due respect, Belly won 5 Ashes series and Jimmy took 1,000 test match wickets. Were any of those guys number one bowler in the world for nearly 2 years? Mate, that needs to be mentioned more, Harmy.
Jimmy was, I think. I think there's only Jimmy. I don't think Swanee got there. Jimmy got there. Surrey and Botham. I'm not sure.
No, but not for nearly 2 years, though. It's the length of time you did.
It wasn't. I don't think it was quite that long. I think it was. Yeah, it was over a year. But it was. And I always make the joke that Shane Warne was on a drugs ban. McGrath was injured. Murley had a shoulder problem. Sean Pollock had just finished. Dale Steyn had just started. So I come just at the right time. I was just at the right time, to be fair. But
all right, you know what? I'll never mention it ever again, then, Harmy.
But what you said about the actual game of cricket that's been played on Multan is absolutely spot on. We'll get a pitch which has got just a little bit in it for everybody, and I don't think it has got a massive amount in from a sort of thrilling batting point of view. And I'm so intrigued to see how England are going to go on this, because I think it's a wicket where I think you're going to take your time to get in on, and you're going to struggle to sort of really feel in on this surface. I fully understand why Pakistan did what they did and played on this pitch. I would have done exactly the same. And it's about whether Pakistan can take 20 wickets, because over the course of the last, I think, 10 or 12 test matches at home, Pakistan are averaging, I think, 12 wickets a test match, which ain't winning. And you can see why they're not winning. So they've played 7 spin options. This ball's turning slowly. It's not ragging square. It's not spitting. I was encouraged by the early part. I thought England bowled really well today. I really did. And Shoaib Bashir, there'll be a lot talking about. I think it's a great game for his development. And as much as people might throw this back at me and say we should not be developing people in Test match cricket, but I think it is at this minute in time where his career is at. I think it's a good learning education for him. While you've got Jack Leach bowling as well as he has.
Bashir, I always seem to think he's got to just drag his length back a little bit. Too often it's too full.
Yeah, but he's still learning. I mean, I don't think he's finished. He probably hasn't finished growing properly yet. He's only 18, 19. So, and I'm sure his release point is a little bit different to where it was in the summer and in the winter before that. So I think I'll always give the kid a bit of slack. While you've got Jack bowling as well as he has, I thought Brydon Carse was immense today. I thought Matt Potts was fantastic today. I thought the way England kept the momentum going and always challenging in that slow period, because it was a great start. I mean, Jack got one to spin. Didn't spin massive. It just spun enough. I thought if anything, it kept low. And in this surface, I mean, it's a hard one because, Sam, you've got a wicket which is turning slowly. It's a 6-day pitch which is to be played on. It's a 9-day, 10th day being prepared, and all the pace has gone out of it. and there wasn't much in it to start with on day one of the first Test match, a week ago. So where it's going to be pace-wise come the weekend, getting close to the weekend when we get the business end area, it's going to be really intriguing to see how it goes. I thought Jamie Smith was absolutely fantastic today. But when you look at it at the end of the day, and I'm sure we'll come on to the debutant, 259 runs. England have had a really good day, but it's runs on the board. And it's runs on the board, like you said, on a pitch, which has got a bit in it. Let's see where we are this time tomorrow.
Do you think because of the nature of this wicket and how we all think it's going to play in the fourth innings, is 259 for 5 after day one advantage Pakistan?
Runs on the board. I would do runs on the board. Even though after day 2 on Multan a week ago, we're going 550. That's runs on the board, and England go and get 800. So it always comes down to you've got to take 20 wickets to win a Test match. And your batters can put you in a position. But if you haven't got their artillery, and I mean, they've dropped 2 of their better bowlers and I would have left them out, Naseem Shah, and that was a difficult leave out, Naseem Shah. I left Shaheen Shah really out because he looked miles away. Excuse me. But Naseem Shah, I didn't think I'd bowled too badly, but apparently he's carrying a little bit of a niggle. I think to go back-to-back would have been very difficult, especially the body he's got, because he's very, very injury prone. So only having one seamer, it's spinning slowly, but it's very, very difficult to get going. So I think from an England point of view, can they play their crash bang wall up, forward thinking, 6 and over, let's get at them? I think they're going to have to be a bit watchful first 20, 25 balls when they go in, because I think what we've seen today was the ball didn't bounce a great deal. And as a captain, I thought Stokes had a really good day as well, because if you can't put men behind the wicket catching, you've got to put men in front of the wicket catching. But then when England, in that lull spell in the middle, when it did really absolutely rock all, when the ball got soft and it did nothing, I mean, that was so boring. But there was no way it was going to carry the slip. So you had to then get your men in front of square, which he did. And he got the wicket, Potts got the catch, Ben took the catch himself. But then when you reverse swing it, you bowl that little bit fuller, you're trying to get the ball to go quicker. And then there was a couple of nicks that went that way. This is going to be the acid test of the captain of Shan Masood as well on the other side. So I think it's a very intriguing Test match played on a surface which is only going to get lower. And I actually think England's seamers are very, very well suited to bowl on this wicket. I would like to face Brydon Carse on third innings, fifth innings on this surface, because that back of a length trajectory where because of his tall release point, and he's bowling at 85 mile an hour, 90 mile an hour, your instinct as a batter is to go back. And the minute you go back, you're in so much trouble, because then you can't come forward and you're going to catch you on the crease. And I think Potts' trajectory, Stokes' trajectory, and Carse's release point could help England as the Test match goes on, because the wicket will get slower, lower, and it just takes one ball to go up. And the batters, the head scramble, you're in a world of pain.
Just wanted to give some love to Brydon Carse, because I thought he bowled a really, really good spell off the tee, and he got his wicket through some really, really smart bowling, dismissing Saud Shakir. I think he bowled 10 consecutive balls to him that were balls that came back into the left-hander. Then the 11th one was that one that went away. And, he fended outside of his off-stump, and he took the outside edge. How impressed were you, Harmy, with Carse today? And England speak a lot about the fast bowling options, wanting more and more options as they go forward and go to the Ashes. I thought that 6-over spell after tea, Harmy, was really, really good. Impressive fast bowling.
Yeah, it's no surprise to me. I've been shouting Brydon's name for about 3-4 years now. But I see him
today, Harmy, by the way, with all the Durham boys out there. I thought you might have come on as 12th man.
No, you're joking. No chance. I'm going to shirt big enough to fit me. I retired Sam and then figure hugging shirts when they became more fashionable in dressing rooms. And they started the figure hugging shirts. It was like you had to spray the shirt on for me, because that's it. Time for me to go. You wouldn't have been very good in them shirts either. But
I reckon I could rock a bucket hat though. One of the bucket hats.
Oh, you could do it. You could do a bucket hat, not a problem at all. It'll be a big bucket, but it'll be a bucket. You can pull it off. You can pull it off. But Brydon, he has got a huge amount going for him. I think the problem that's always been is putting back-to-back consistency of games with his body. And if he puts his body in a position to play for a prolonged period of time, I think he's one of the best we've got in this country. He really is. You know, we haven't seen the best of him yet with a bat, and we'll see it because the boy can bat. He's a very, very competent fielder. He is a lot like Liam Plunkett. And when it comes to the ball, I think he's probably just better than Liam Plunkett with a ball. That's saying something. And that Liam was a wonderful cricketer. So there's a lot of similarities in that, running up and hitting the deck and having a big heart. And I think that's what Brydon's got. It's what he gives you. He reverse swing the ball, in the mid-afternoon, which was good. He utilised the new ball very, very well. He had good control. Bowled maidens. I think he bowled 5 maidens in his 11 overs. Along with Potts, who will always get. I mean, Potts is going to be the unluckiest cricketer in his whole career, because every time he plays cricket, he's going to have an exciting 90-mile-an-hour bowler probably at the other end. Every time Potsy plays cricket, he seems to bowl with Mark Wood, who's bowling 95 mile an hour, and everybody wants to talk about Woody. Or Jofra Archer, and he bowling 95 mile an hour, and everybody wants to talk about Jofra. And now he's got Brydon Carse.
It's a bit like you in your day. You're bowling rockets, but everyone's talking about Freddie, don't they?
Absolutely. I didn't mind that, and I'm sure Potsy doesn't mind that. He did an interview after the game. It's his first game overseas for England. I thought they did excellent. But I'll come back to what I said earlier. England have had a good day. And I thought Kamran Ghulam, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's 29 years old. He's not just a young lad. He's been around Pakistan's test match team for about a year now. Hasn't been able to get in. He's under pressure to take over from Babar Azam. And I thought he was excellent. Walks out to bat at 19 for 2 on debut, with everybody in Pakistan hitting Pakistan cricket team because of they're getting beat. There've been seven consecutive losses. They've just dropped 3 superstars. And he walked out, and I thought his temperament was very, very good. I thought his shot selection, especially down the ground, was excellent. He took on Bashir very, very quickly. I thought it was an excellent debut innings from somebody who is a little bit more experienced when it comes to the first class career he's got. So, but again, they've got 259 on the board, and that for me is still it's a decent amount of runs if you've got your 7 spin options. If 3 of them can work and bowl England out, if they can't, you might as well have 550. Because even last week, Sam, there's a lot of talk, a lot of negativity, hell of a lot of negativity. You dropped 3 absolute superstars. Pakistan nearly scored 800 runs last week. Now he's scored 800 runs. We've got 550 in the first innings, 240 in the second innings. If you go around the world, Sam, and play 20, 25 test matches, and you score 800, you will win more than you'll lose.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, if England concede 8, just short of 800 runs against India and Australia in 10 test matches, England won't win again. Bumrah Shamri, Siraj, Ashwin and Jadeja, Cummins, Hazelwood, Stark, Lyon. But unfortunately, Pakistan can't get 20 wickets at this moment in time. So, yes, they've got runs on the board. They've got to be able to back that up with a ball, and the time will tell come tomorrow tea time.
Harmy, in terms of England's approach, this time last year, I kind of almost would have expected England just to come out and do what they do and play shots, depending on, not really caring what the wicket does. I know they don't like using this word, but the word refinement's been used a bit with England kind of over the last few months in terms of the way they're approaching innings and maybe at times being a bit more sensible. Do you expect this England team now, given maybe the wicket spinning and being, an even bounce, to kind of approach the innings a little bit differently and at times a little bit more sensibly than what they would have done this time last year? Did this England team fill you with a bit more confidence that they won't be 85 all out reversing and sweeping and all that to 7 spinners that are turning at square?
That's a great point, a great question, and one that time will tell, because, I mean, if you had asked me in the middle of the summer, I'd have said, yes, this is change. And then they played the last test match against Sri Lanka and like a complete holics of it. So this will be a challenge, because it is not going to be easy to start your innings. Not going to be easy to get yourself in a position to thrash through the line of the ball if you're hitting the ball of seamers down the ground, where they've only got 1 seamer. We're going to see a lot of spin, a lot of sweeps, a lot of reverse sweeps. I think what you might find as well, I think you might find England players use their feet a little bit more and try and smother the bounce of the ball. So if there is going to be inconsistency of the bounce, you can see using the fast feet and coming out of the crease and try and getting the Pakistan bowlers the ball that little bit shorter, where they can get on the sort of back foot, or they can hit horizontal back shots. So time will tell when it comes to temperament where England will be. But they'll only be under pressure if Pakistan bowl well. Pakistan don't bowl well, they'll just pick them off. And what you have, excuse me, what you have, it's like, I talk sports of football and station. If you've got a centre forward going back to a ground where he loves playing and he's just got three goals and he's on good form, you can guarantee he'll perform. You've got 4 batters out of the top 6 of England who less than a week ago on that surface looking down have just gone, I'm in great form here. I feel in great place. Duckett and Crawley got 70s and 80s. Root got a double. Brook got a triple. They're going to stand there and go, I can bat on this all day. I've just proved that. I feel so comfortable standing in these surroundings. Psychologically in sport, that's massive. And I think that will work in England's favour, as well as, if either of them 4 get past 25, 30 balls, you will see the body language of a team who have not won in 7, struggled at home under massive pressure, and going, here we go again. And that, I think, is England's refinement challenge of how they will go about getting to 30 balls of their innings. Once they get past 30 balls, they'll feel as though they're in, and then they can start being expansive, putting the bowler under pressure. And that's what I think, hopefully, England's batters have been watching on this surface in this last sort of 6.5 hours, that it isn't the easiest to get in on. But once you do get in, Gulban, he already showed that once you do get in, you can score quite freely on it. And the debutant looked in good order when he was not so much when he was taking a risk, because he did take a few risks. He did try and hit the big shot. So time will tell. But like I said before, good day for England. Well, Pakistan's got runs on the board. Can they come out and bowl England out twice on this surface? Because they need to get back in the series.
259 for 5 then is the score after day 1 for Pakistan in this second test match. Play will be back tomorrow morning, UK time, 6 o'clock. Updates on talkSPORT, but on talkSPORT 2 at the exact same time in the early hours of tomorrow morning. Day 1 of the first test, India, New Zealand, all 3 test matches. We're bringing you that on talkSPORT 2, and also we'll stream the commentary live on talkSPORT's YouTube channel. We'll have regular following on cricket podcasts and content on the talkSPORT YouTube channel. Harmy, thank you as always. We'll be back same time tomorrow.
Can't wait, Samuel.
Harmy, top man again. #1 bowler in the world for just short of 2. It was just short of 2 years, Harmy, and who cares if all those guys were injured or retired. Harmy, see you tomorrow, my friend.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.